everyone, what's up? So I'm going to speak on my experience with talking to Diddy. This is back in 2010 when I was 19 years old. Okay, y'all. So my experience wasn't as gruesome as the other women and people who are coming out and talking about their experiences. Okay. So people who are close to me and know me knows that I love to sing. I've been singing since I was 3 years old. And when I was young, singing for me was an outlet to heal from the trauma I was going through in regards to foster care and eventually being adopted. Singing really helped me. And like, you know how some people they have to learn how to sing? Like for me, it just naturally happened. I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all see me looking up because I'm getting notifications on my phone. So, back to the story. So singing came to me naturally. Like I just remember singing and it just felt good. Like it calmed me down. So being young, I would always like reenact songs and things like that. My foster mom at the time, we were back and forth with her and my biological parents. And eventually, when I turned like 9 years old, my foster mom ended up adopting me and she became my adopted mom. So she was like my mom who raised me. And she's a 40s baby. She passed away in 2018. No, not 2000. Yeah, she passed away in 2018. So she was a 40s baby. So I was raised on a lot of beautiful music, very old school music, soulful, like very soulful music. Okay. Um, yeah, so when I was a kid, I always told myself, like, one day I want to become a singer and a performer, entertainer in the music industry. Like, I didn't really get to watch music videos when I was a kid. I started watching cable a lot around 14, 15 years old. So I always go based off the air, the radio of artists. And I knew Toni Braxton was one of the artists that really gave me that wow factor, and Aaliyah too. Her voice was very, very sweet to me. And after high school, I graduated high school in 2009. And I was like, okay, let me still see if this music thing is for me. It feels good. I love it. I'm young. I'm still a little insecure. I'm a black girl born and raised in New York City. So it was really tough, the stigma against, certain colorism and things going on like that. I'm not trying to get too deep into that, but let me go straight to the story, right? So in 2010, I don't know if y'all remember this app called, I shouldn't say an app, it was on the computer. It was called Crush Spots. It was like a dating software, right? So I met this dude off a Crush Spot. So we got to know each other for like 2 weeks and then we finally met up. And hung out with him. I remember he had this nice little space. I believe it was his mom's place. He was going to nursing school at the time. I remember him picking me up in a nice ass car, like very red. I wasn't into cars then. I'm still not into cars now. Like I don't get with men because of what they have, because their shit is not my shit. That's my mentality. Like their stuff is not my stuff. Like I've never been that female. Like, oh my God, he got a blazing ass car. Like I've never been that type of girl. Never been that type of woman at all. But anyways, when I was 19 years old in 2010, we hung out and he went into the kitchen to make us something to eat, right? So I was singing and he heard me sing. And he said, wow, like you really, really could fucking sing. And I said, yeah. I said, I've been singing since I was 3 years old. Like, I told him the same story I just gave y'all. And he said, wait, hold on, right? So he called somebody and he put Diddy on the speaker. It was Diddy. It sounded just like him. And he eventually turned the speaker off and I was on the phone with him. And I told him, what's crazy? Because I just auditioned for the last trip in Paris 2 weeks ago and I didn't get in. And he said, what? You didn't get in? And I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit after this story why I think I didn't get in. It makes sense. It all came together, right? But look, I sung for the audition that they had back then, Last Trip in Paris. That's the time when he was looking for two girls to sing on that album, and I guess tour too. And it's called The Last Trip to Paris. I remember singing for the judges and they was all shaking their head like they loved my voice because it was a list of songs that they wanted us to sing. Like we couldn't sing no songs that we wanted. We had to sing a list of songs, and I remember singing was it Last Night? It was the one with Keisha Cole. If I told you once, I told you twice. That one. So they was shaking their head because I was doing my thing, and then they didn't choose me. Right? Boom. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. I was like, and I told him like I auditioned for you 2 weeks ago and I didn't get in. So he was like, yo, that's crazy. Sing something for me. So I said, okay. What popped up in my head, y'all? Remember, I'm 19. Y'all gonna be like, girl, why would you choose that song? I sung Aaliyah. Age ain't nothing but a number because I felt like it was quick. It was right off the bat, and around that time, I really loved that song without knowing at the time the things that Aaliyah been through. I didn't know, right? Something, ever since Aaliyah passed away, I always felt connected to her for some reason. Not only she's a Capricorn like me, but I always resonated with her, and not knowing that she went through a lot of trauma because I also been like molested by an older man when I was like 14, 15. So I now piecing the puzzles together. You see how the universe works. So I remember saying to him, like, look, I'm gonna sing Aaliyah, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. And I remember what stood out to me that was weird. My hair is in my eye. What stood out to me that was weird is when I said that, he was like, Aaliyah. It was the way he said it. And I'm like, that was weird. So I ended up singing Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. And then I started like, don't wanna be bold. I gotta let you know. I got a thing for you, and I can't let go. And then I went into the chorus. Age ain't nothing but a number. Throwing down ain't nothing but a thing. This loving I have for you, it'll never change. I was singing it to him, right? And he was like, yo, that's what's up, what's up? He was like, look, do a demo, write a song, like basically write a song, and then I'm gonna come and go into the studio to do a track, right? So I'm like, cool, that's what's up, right? So I passed the phone back to the dude I was talking to at the time. And I'm 19 and that dude was at least around like in his 20s. I remember that. And I remember him being on the phone and he was laughing, but it was an uncomfortable laugh, right? And when he got off the phone, I was like, oh, okay, I'm excited. Like, I was really excited because I'm like, yo, my dreams is about to come true. I'm about to work with Diddy. I'm about to become a performer, right? And he said to me, like, are you really ready for this? I was like, yeah, let's get started on songwriting, right? And then he was like, he put me on, y'all. I guess because me and him, he's putting me on. Like, I guess he's like, look, you're gonna have to fuck mad people in the studio. That's basically what he told me. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. But when I was speaking with Diddy, he made it felt off, especially when I mentioned Aaliyah. It was just like, how you have that feeling, that intuition. I feel like my intuition and discernment was warning me then. And after a while, we did like a little songwriting, but some told me don't follow through, and because I couldn't believe what he just told me, and it made sense because I was like, okay, I was uncomfortable on the phone, like it was really weird, and then at that time I was heavier, so dude was like, I got to focus on my weight, this, and that. So I felt like I wasn't good enough, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is not going to be fun. It's not fun. It don't sound fun, right? So I eventually stopped talking to that dude because I found out he had a girlfriend. And his girlfriend knows that he cheats a lot, so she was with him for his finances, and so I was only 19. It was a lot. It was a lot. The dude name was Sean. I remember his name was Sean. Yep, yep. So, and I remember telling people this story, and some people like, "Oh, you stupid for not working with him." I'm like, no, something was off. Something was off because I was like, I can't believe because like dude didn't want to tell me what he said, but the laugh was uncomfortable, and I was like, okay. After I got off the phone, you know how you're supposed to be like, but something was like I was happy, but then I wasn't. Like something felt really off, and then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna follow up. Like I'm not going to follow up. So I left it alone. And sometimes throughout the years, I would think to myself, maybe I should have followed up. But something would tell me, like, things happen for a reason. You're not going to realize now, but later you're going to find out why things happen for a reason. And that's why they usually say, like, rejection is God's protection. Like, that's so true. That is so true. Like, for me not getting through that audition, despite the judges like really shaking their head, like they was like applauding and all that, like, and for me not to get that, it was weird. And I really think I didn't get it because of my skin complexion. Because I've also heard stories about Diddy like giving people a hard time. But even if it's not him, it may be the production team, because the people who did get in was Dawn and that other girl. Those two, remember, they were two dark skinned girls, and that album was pretty nice. It was pretty nice, but my spirit was telling me that something is not right. Something was not right, and for the dude that I was dating at the time to confirm that, look, and plus he don't want nobody else touching me, so of course he gonna tell me what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel like he did not lie, because he really was shocked when he heard me sing. And me being 19 years old at the time, like ever since I was young, people said I sound like I had an older person's voice. So imagine if you hear how my voice sound now. I sounded similar when I was young, like an older woman. So he was really shocked, and it seemed like he really wanted to do something with it. But I guess that phone call really made him uncomfortable. It's like, nah, I'm not gonna let Tika go out like that. So I really appreciate him for putting me on, because he didn't have to put me on to that information. Because even when I got off the phone with him, I was like, it felt weird. Even though I was excited to sing for him, it still felt weird after that. I was like, and for him to confirm, like, yeah, you're gonna have to give up a lot of morals. Like, that's what basically what it told me. So, and after that, like, my mind always went back to Cassie. And anybody who worked with him, like, I always felt bad. And I'm like, yo, hopefully he get exposed one day. Like, even if it's not him, the people you work, remember, the company you keep still, like, come on. We all have a choice. If you wanna be like, look, fuck that, I'm not doing this because of my morals and my values, like, I'm not down with that. And if you turn a blind eye, you're just as guilty. And that, remember I said the dude I dated had a nice ass car. And I really felt like he got that car from Diddy, because I do remember him. He looked familiar when I first met him, the dude, right? And he was on one of the first episodes of Making the Band when they crossed the bridge. You remember how they had all go to what's that cheesecake factory? Yeah, and they had to come back and give him the cheesecake, and he left or whatever like that. Dude was in that episode. So, and it goes to show that I'm that type of, even to this day, I'm not that type to want to get with a man for what they have, as in, like, okay, let me see how I can level up. Like, okay, if you stable, cool. If you got it, cool, but it got to be respect involved. I've always been like that. Like, you got to respect me, because I can't be with somebody that's not respectful. And that's what caused me to stop talking to that dude. And it's crazy is he contacted me 2 years later after I stopped contacting him. Like, he was trying to like reconnect again. I was like, no, because that experience was really weird. I'm like, I'm not only disappointed that, I sung for Diddy and then it just didn't go out how I expected. That was weird. But to find out that dude had a girlfriend and he expect me to be okay with it, like, dude said, like, she already know what's up, so you either gonna be with it. No, I was like, no, I'm not with it, and I left out his car and I never saw him again. So him contacting me 2 years later to reconnect, I just ignored his message. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's not for me. Like I'm all about like morals, values, like loyalty, commitment. Like, yo, we gotta be locked in. Can't be no cheating, no third parties. It gotta be communication. Like, especially cheating, that's what I don't deal with. That would get you out of here. I can't do it. Cheating, I don't tolerate. I could not do it. So, but that experience with Diddy was different. So, like I said, everybody had their own experiences, and it's a good thing I follow my intuition to not follow up, despite my dreams and stuff like that. Now I love to help people because I feel like, it's an energy, right? So singing helped me feel good. Talking helps me feel good. So anybody, y'all, when y'all on the phone with people, remember, when you conversate, when you converse with people over the phone, you feel their energy, right? You can feel my energy, right? Take that in. Like, that shit do not lie. It do not lie. So that's it for my video, y'all. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Okay, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.